3, 2, 1.
Good morning, boys and girls. Okay, so today we're going to be learning about word solving as our reader's workshop strategy. Have any of you ever been reading a book and you come across a word and you don't know what it means? Isn't that so frustrating? I know, it's happened to me. Raise your hand if it's ever happened to you. That's tough. Why do you think, it doesn't feel good to not know those words. Why do you like not knowing those words? No, it's not very fun. So today we're going to learn some strategies on how to figure out what those words mean. And that way we know what the word means and we also know what the book is trying to tell us. So let's start with, why do we do this? Why do you think that we do this, boys and girls? Why would we want to figure out the words in the book that we're reading?
So we know what the story means.
So we know what the story means, that's right. So we can understand the book, we can understand what the author is trying to tell us. So that way, Freddie here can understand what the book is trying to tell him. Let's do this. There, see, he has an idea of what the book is trying to tell him. So, why else might we try to figure out what the book is trying to tell us? Or why else might we want to figure out what those words mean? Does anyone know? How does it make you feel? What do good writers do? Let's think, what do good writers do? Good writers like to figure things out, don't they? Yeah, they like to figure out what the words mean. That's true, I think that's true. Good writers learn new words. So that way, they can put it into their brain dictionary. Because we all like filling our brain dictionary. So, let's go through the process of how to figure them out. So that way when we're reading, and I show you some words that I'm having trouble figuring out, we can figure out how to do it in a strategic method. We know how to figure it out. So, the first step is to figure out a part of the word that we know, that we already know. So maybe you know at the beginning of the word, the first part. So say we have the word snowball, and we say, hey, I know what snow is. I know that word, but I'm not really sure what the end word is, the end part of that word is. So we would figure out the first part of the word. We would figure out what part we know, what we already know. So for snowball, it would be snow. Next, we have this part of the word, but we don't know what this part of the word is. The thing is that it's one whole word. So what do you think we would do to put together the whole word? What do you think we'd have to do next? Say them both together, right? So we would put both parts back together. And what I like to do is I like to put one part in one hand, snow, one part in the other hand, ball, snowball. And when you join them together. So you want to do that with me? Snow, ball, snowball. So let's maybe do that here. And we'll ball, ball, snowball. Joining them together. Those are are sad hands, but it's okay, we know what it means. So, put the parts back together. And lastly, we need to make sure it makes sense. Because what if we sound together a word that doesn't make sense? We're still just as lost as we were to begin with. So we need to make sure it makes sense. Make sure it makes sense. So, I know we read this book earlier, If You Give a Dog a Donut. And I know we liked this book. But so we're just going to do a picture walk through it, just so we remember what it's about. But there were some words in here that I found myself struggling with, and I was wondering if you guys could help me figure them out. We'll just figure out these pictures. If you remember, he went some apple juice, he played some baseball, did a little dance, and he had to wash himself off, but then he became a pirate, he looked for treasure, he flew a kite, this part's sticky, but then in the end, he just wanted another donut. So, you give a dog a donut, and these are the words that I had trouble with. Let's start with the first one. I'll read you the page. When he's up in the tree, he'll toss you one. Throwing the apple will make him think of, and this word I had trouble with, boys and girls. Think of something. He'll want to play. That's the other part. So, using this word chunking strategy, let's figure out what this word is. I'll write the word up here so you know. So, let's think. I think I see part of the word that I know. I think I know this part, ball. I play with balls when I'm outside. So I know what that part means, but I'm having trouble with this part. So let's combine them together. Since we know this part, all we have to do is figure out that part. So I think base, okay. So let's put them back together for our second step. Base, ball, baseball. Oh, baseball. Let's see if that makes sense. When he's up in the tree, he'll toss you one. Throwing the apple will make him think of baseball. He'll want to play. Does that make sense, boys and girls? Tap your head if you think that makes sense. It does make sense because throwing the apple, that must be him throwing a ball, and he'll want to play. You play baseball. It's a sport. How many of you play baseball? Wiggle your fingers if you play baseball. It's a very fun game. So now we know that word. Good for us. Give yourself a pat on the back for that one. Okay, let's go to the next word. Oh, I think this is the next one. Yep. Okay, I'll read you what the page says. So, he'll probably start a water fight. You'll have to dry him off with your, and then I'm having trouble with that last word. Let me write it out for you so you can see it. This part's hard. But I do see part of the word that I know. Do you see part of the word that you know, boys and girls? Whisper it to your neighbor if you see a part that you know. Did you see the same part? Okay, well, I saw the part band. Band. Because sometimes I wear bands on my wrist like this one. So band. And then there's that second part. I'm not really sure, so let's see if we can put them together. Band, Anna, bandana, bandana. Okay, so let's see if it makes sense. Bandana. He'll probably start a water fight, and you'll have to dry him off with your bandana. That makes sense, doesn't it? Bandana is something you wear on your head, right? It's a piece of cloth. You use cloth to dry yourself off, like towels and stuff. Okay, I think we got a check for that one. I think that sounds right. And let's go to the very last one. We'll see if you've got this down pat. So, the last part is he'll want a to go with it. I'll write the word for you. So what's the first part that we have to do? Can you tell me? That's right, we have to figure out what part we already know. Is there a part that you already know? Put your focus glasses on and look at it and see if there's a part that you already know. If there's a part that you know, raise your hand. Tell me which part you know. That's right. I see nut. The nuts that you eat, right? So, we know this part. Not really sure about this part. So what do we have to do next? Put them together. Because now that's easier because we know that part. All we have to know is this part. So, we have nut. Donut. Hey, that makes sense. I love donuts. So, let's read it in the sentence to what, boys and girls? Make sure it makes sense. That's right. So, he'll want a donut to go with it. That sounds right. Plus, we can see a donut right there. Delicious donut. So, boys and girls, that is our word solving strategy. So today, when you're reading, I want you to take 3 Post-it notes that I have, and I want you, if you ever come across a word that you're not sure about, mark the page and see if you can figure out that word using the word solving strategy that we worked with today. See if you can figure it out with that. And then we'll come back and we'll talk about the words that we figured out. Or if we're still having trouble, we can work them out together. All right, sounds good. Now I want you, if you have a blue shirt on, go get your book and go into your reading spot.